Hi, Vision Prep Scholars. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I miss you all so much. I wish we could be in school together, but right now we just need to be home and be safe and stay inside as much as we can. And if you have to go out, only for things that you absolutely need, and always wear a mask. Right now we just really have to be strong and stay home, even though it's kind of hard, isn't it? It's kind of hard just to be home all day. This safer at home has been pretty different for me, different for you guys. We're not at school every day. We're not seeing and hugging and high-fiving and saying hi every day. And that's been hard for me because I miss you guys. But there's been some good things too. I've had a lot more time for just sitting around and thinking with myself. And when I sit around and think, I kind of look out the window and I just kind of think big thoughts. And my big thoughts that I was having made me think of all the big thoughts that you guys always have when we're in class together. You guys have some just amazing questions when we're learning, big questions. And the one that comes up every year from you guys is when we're learning about the solar system. And you guys always ask, how do we get here? Where are we from? Why are humans humans? You guys have some amazing questions without fail every time we get to the solar system unit. Those big, really cool questions. And one of the things that's been fun about the safer at home, being in quarantine in our houses, is sitting around and thinking big thoughts. So I wanted to take the opportunity for this first science lesson to sort of discuss some of those big thoughts with you, okay? And what we're going to talk about is how we got here, how are humans humans, and where did we come from, okay? And the answer to that is evolution. And I've talked with some of you about this in some of our classes, but I don't get to go into it as much as I want to because it's kind of a big topic and there's a lot of stuff involved with it, and you're probably going to learn more about it in middle school and high school. But I wanted to take an opportunity to talk with you about it today because it's a really cool answer to a really cool question. So today I thought we might start at the very beginning and talking about evolution, and we're going to learn about the evolution of our life, of us, of humans on Earth, and we're going to do it with this book called Our Family Tree. Before we get started, though, we're going to talk about what evolution is, right? It's kind of a big word. It basically means how life changes through time. So evolution is natural and has been happening since the world began. Now, all life goes through little changes each generation over millions and millions of years and over millions and millions of generations. And evolution provides a lot of variety and different life, all suited and equipped to survive in its environment. So everything on Earth, all life on Earth, has evolved from something else and is continuing to evolve. We're always continuing to evolve and change to suit our environment, to suit where we live, to better be able to survive where we are. So we're going to read this book called Our Family Tree. This is a book I bought for my kids years ago, and we still read it a lot. It's a really pretty book. Looks like my daughter Caroline is going to sit and read with us, but she's going to be really quiet. Yes, Mommy? Mommy. She's going to be really quiet. Yes, Mommy? Yes, Mommy. Okay. So, Our Family Tree, an evolution story. So this book tells about how life on Earth started and how it changed or evolved from the first forms of life on Earth to humans like we are today. Okay. All of us are part of an old family tree. The roots of our family tree reach way back to the beginning of life on Earth. We've changed a lot since then. So we see a little kid at a beach drawing a line with a stick out of the water. I wonder what that means. When we began, we didn't look like people. We didn't have 2 eyes to blink, 10 toes to wiggle. We were just tiny round cells in the deep, dark sea. On the outside, we were so small, we were almost invisible. But on the inside, we had the same kind of spiraling genetic code for life that we have today. A lot of you probably know what this is. This is DNA. DNA is the genetic code, what gets passed down from mom to babies and dads to their babies, every generation. This DNA is a double helix, and it has all the information of, are you going to have blue eyes? Are you going to be tall? Are you going to be short? Are you going to have brown hair, curly hair, straight hair? What color skin are you going to have? All that is in your DNA. And when we were these tiny single-celled organisms living in the deep, dark sea, we had that DNA. Pretty cool. And that's the way our family stayed. Generation after generation, year after year, millions of years, for millions of years, tiny and round, floating in the sea. So life on Earth stayed in these single-celled organisms, single-celled living things for about 320,000 million years, 320,000 million years, until land started forming. Now we know that land, rock, comes from volcanoes, because when volcanoes come, they spit out lava. When that lava cools off, it turns into rock. So every time there's an eruption, that lava cools off, turns into new land, new rock. But then the earth changed. Land rose from the oceans. The air filled with oxygen. Life changed too. Slowly, slowly, one step at a time. Some cells joined together and became plants. Our cells joined together and we became animals. So after those single-celled, for millions of years, millions of thousands and thousands of millions of years, those single cells started to come together and join together and make more complex or complicated living things. Some of those living things became plants. Some of those living things became animals. But we were still always in the ocean. We hadn't gotten on land yet. We hadn't come out of the ocean yet. On the outside, we were squishy and soft like worms. On the inside, our cells had many shapes. Square like boxes, pointy like stars, round like ripe seeds, the same way they do now. So if we were able to get a microscope, we'd see our cells kind of still look a lot like this. So life turned into these more complex animals. Look at this funny little squishy worm. That's a real creature that used to live. As the seas rose and fell, our family changed again. So Earth went through a lot of cooling and warm periods. So right now this is showing you an ice age period. But look, those cells got more complicated and they evolved even more and they became more complex and turned into, what is this? Fish, that's right. So fish started coming in, trilobites. On the outside, we had scales to protect us and fins, 2 on each side. Oh, there you go. 2 on each side to swim against the strong currents. On the inside, we had spiny backbones that helped us move as freely as we do today. So we have backbones, that's our spine. We're vertebrates. Vertebrate means animals that have spines. So these fish, most fish today, have spines. They're vertebrates just like us. When families of green plants and insects began living on the land, we followed them. See this guy coming out? Kind of salamandery, amphibian looking guy. He started in the ocean, started in the water, and then he was the first animal to come out. And he is one of our long ago ancestors. We evolved from something like him. On the outside, we still had scales. We still had scales, but we looked like huge salamanders. We crawled out of the sea on legs, 2 on each side. We didn't stray far, and we returned to the water to lay our eggs, just like frogs and stuff still do now. On the inside, we had lungs to breathe oxygen like we do now. Kind of what it looked like. Coming out of the water, laying its eggs. As all of the continents on Earth slowly joined into one, we left the water completely. So if you can see this, it's all the continents all together in one big supercontinent. Anyone remember what this is called? It starts with a P. When the dinosaurs were still on Earth. Anyone know? Pangea. That's right, Pangea. So Pangea was the last time we had a supercontinent, but there's actually been a lot of supercontinents. So scientists have already figured out and known that it wasn't just one supercontinent, Pangea, but there were lots of different times that the continents came together, moved apart, and came together and moved apart. Pangea was just the last one. And we know that when Pangea was here, millions and millions, hundreds of millions of years ago, what else were here on Earth? Dinosaurs. That's right. So now we're in the age of dinosaurs. About 300 million to 65 million years ago. On the outside, we looked like hairy lizards. We hunted all day and had sharp teeth to tear our food. On the inside, our blood ran warm, almost as warm as it does today. So we didn't evolve from dinosaurs. Birds and reptiles evolved from dinosaurs. We evolved from these kind of looking things, these kind of hairy, lizardy looking things. And these guys evolved into mammals, which we're going to talk about next. In one of Earth's dark times, nearly all life went extinct, but many families survived, and ours was among them. So, when the asteroid, 65 million years ago, when the asteroid hit the Gulf of Mexico and killed all the dinosaurs, a lot of animals died. Most animals died. The dinosaurs died, trilobites died, some coral died, a lot of things died, which you see here. All these things died once that asteroid hit. But mammals, like this little mouse, kind of shrew-looking guy, they survived. And when the dinosaurs were around, these guys got eaten up, right? That's a good meal for a little dinosaur. So mammals were mostly little rodent type things. But when the asteroid hit and all the dinosaurs went extinct, there was a lot more room now and space for the mammals to evolve even more. So mammals started evolving and changing and turning into different kind of animals that we have now. And it became the time of the mammals, which we're still in. On the outside, we were small and furry. We hid or slept during the day, and we scurried about at night. On the inside, we made milk for our babies like we do now. So this was one of the kind of little rodents, little mammally things that survived that we eventually evolved from. After an asteroid shattered the calm, told you, and a layer of fine dust settled on everything, we changed again. So here you see all the dinosaur bones turning into fossils under the earth, and you see the mammals now are living on Earth. And a lot of these mammals look like what we still have today, or similar to what we have today. So this looks to me kind of like a tiger, right? Doesn't look like a tiger we have today, but this is probably the kind of thing that a tiger evolved from. They used to look like this, but they changed generation after generation over millions of years to look like what they look like now. You see monkeys, see the double-horned rhino, another monkey, kind of ape here, another kind of ape, another kind of mammal. On the outside, we looked more and more like we do now, but we still walked on all fours. We climbed tree trunks with our thumbs and thumbnails, toes and toenails. On the inside, the bones of our hands looked almost like they do today. So this is a chimpanzee, early sort of form of chimpanzee, and this is actually our closest relative as humans. Chimpanzees and humans have the same ancestor, okay? So chimpanzees and humans came from this kind of guy, this kind of thing. So chimpanzees and humans share about 98% of the same DNA, the same code that makes up humans and chimpanzees. We have about 98% of that is this exactly the same. So really only that 2% is what makes us humans. That 2% different is what makes us humans and chimpanzees. But mostly we're the same because we came from the same, we evolved from the same ancestor of this guy, an early form of ape. Do you guys know the difference between an ape and a monkey? We kind of get those mixed up a lot. Apes, which is what we are, we're a form of ape. Chimpanzees are a form of ape. Gorillas, orangutans. They don't have tails. The easiest way to tell the difference is that apes don't have tails and monkeys do. So we're not monkeys. We're a form of ape. We evolved from a form of ape. Like that. After the earth cooled and the forest shrank, we left the trees to live on open grasslands. So you see, we're on grasslands. And look, you see us, we stood up. We're no longer walking on all fours. We stood up on 2 feet. And our hands became free now. Instead of legs, they became free for tools. These old early, this is an Australopithecus. Australopithecus is an early hominid, an early human type creature. And they were one of the first ones to use tools. Because once you stand up on 2 feet and you're not using your legs up here for legs, you're using them for arms and hands, you can pick things up. And when you pick things up and you use tools, your brain gets bigger because you're learning how to do new things. So on the outside, we walked upright on 2 legs with our 2 arms free for using tools. On the inside, we had large brains, but not as big as they are now. We got really big brains. Humans have really big brains. Today is a long, long time from when our family started. Slowly, slowly, one step at a time, we've changed. So here we are. We came out of the oceans. Life came out of the oceans. Some became plants. Some life evolved to animals. Some life evolved to reptiles. Some life evolved to fish. And then they changed to furry reptiles or mammals. And then they evolved into apes or humans. This is a really simple one. There's a lot more animals and plants, obviously, but this is a simple look of our family tree and what we evolved from single-cell organisms in the ocean to humans. Isn't that cool? It's fascinating. On the outside, we are all people, from the size of our heads to the shape of our toes. On the inside, we are all people, with big brains that wonder who we are, where we came from, and where we're going next. We began as tiny round cells, and we've changed a lot since then. But we carry with us reminders of each step of our past. That's how it is with families, and ours goes back a long, long way. I like this book a lot because I find evolution so fascinating. It's so interesting. But also because I like how it ends with, we're all people. We all started from the same single-cell little organism over 3,000 million years ago, right? We all have DNA. We all evolved from the same thing. It doesn't matter what we look like or what we sound like, or for boys or girls or black or white. We're all people. We're all people, and we evolved from the same thing together. And I really like that message because it makes me feel like we're all just one big family, which we really are. We're all one big human family. I hope you like that. This was just sort of an easy read aloud lesson for you guys today. Next week, and for the next few weeks that we're going to be doing this, I'm going to have some demonstrations of some science experiments for you guys that I am so excited about. We're going to be doing some gravity experiments. We're going to be doing some speed of light experiments. We're going to be doing so much cool stuff, and I might get my kids involved with me. So I miss you. Love you guys. I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.